You talked about the experience in the 4-car where they cut you loose. Also, around that time, you had some eye surgery with cataracts, and I have to wonder if that created unnecessary rumors about you physically, right? Having some limitations.
There were definitely rumors out there that there was something wrong with my eyes.
And that was right about that time, right?
Right at that time, exactly.
The worst time. I mean, because you just come off the '89 year, you said it was the worst.
Yep.
And then you had the 3 races with Morgan McClure that didn't end well.
Yep.
So what had happened with the?
I had in '89. I had a cataract. I still had 20/15 vision with both eyes, but I had a cataract in my left eye. So I had it surgically repaired, and at the end of '89, and then started the '90 season or whatever. So there was a little question, and maybe in Larry McClure's eyes there was a question of whether I could see. I got wrecked at Daytona, not of my doing or whatever, but with a really good car. So there was definitely a perception that there was something wrong with my eyes, and I went to Humpy. I said, Humpy, there's talk out there that there's something wrong with my eyes. He said, we'll figure this out. I'm going to send you to the best eye specialist that I know or that we can find. And if you come back and there's something wrong with your eyes, then you know and do something different. But so I went to the eye doctor and came back and said, absolutely nothing wrong with your eyes.
Yeah.
So,
And so typically, like if you want to keep a medical issue private, especially in those days with no social media and whatnot, you probably could have tried to keep that a little more of a private matter. Did you have like regrets afterwards of going, damn, I didn't think that was going to be a big deal?
Yeah, and I didn't really, I mean, you're right. I didn't really think of that. I mean, I know we ended the season at Atlanta and tested the next day in Atlanta, and then I had the eye surgery the very next day after we tested Atlanta. Had a great test in Atlanta with the 4-car. After the Atlanta race.
And did you tell them you were going to do
this?
Oh, yeah. And do you think that you probably should have not told them?
I really hadn't thought about it, other than the fact I probably wouldn't have been available to test probably in December, I mean, so because this was by then probably the end of November or whatever. So
how long did it take you to get over that?
It's just a few weeks. Yeah, It wasn't bad. And nowadays it'd be hardly any time down, but back in the day they actually stitched your eye up and whatever, and then you had to go back and have the stitches taken out.
When you guys say the rumors sort of were detrimental to your career at that point, are you saying did that rumor essentially end the Morgan McClure relationship, or did it cause detriment moving forward on getting another job?
I don't know that it caused the end of the Morgan McClure thing. I don't know that.
But 3 races isn't a whole lot of.
Not a whole lot of a sample size. But I definitely I know for a fact that there was a team that was looking for a driver, and my name came up, and a PR person said, "Hey, you don't want to mess with him. He has eye issues."
Oh damn!
That's where.
Do you know what team, or you want? You don't.
I don't want. Okay. Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
So, how did you learn that you were getting let go of the 4-car?
He called me after the 3rd race and said we're thinking about making a change.
Who?
Tony Glover.
Okay.
Called, yeah.
And that we're thinking about making a change, and
so I drove up there. I mean, we're to Abingdon, which is
you drove to the shop.
2.5 hours.
Okay, what's going on?
Yeah, 2.5 hours, and they came out of there and said, "No, we think we're going to make a change." So I basically went home without a ride.
Golly.
Oh man.
How hard was that ride home?
Hardest in my life.
Yeah.
Hardest in my life. Yeah. I mean, I'd never. Other than not having a good year in '89,
that was your first rejection of your life.
Yeah,
in terms of your professional career.
Yeah, as far as racing goes, yeah. It literally, it was right around Marcia's birthday, and I'd planned to have a birthday party. So I mean, I drove home, and had friends over, whatever, for her birthday, and
Golly.
So when you said that Humpy sent you to the best eye doctor, and you're trying to sort of reset the record here, exactly what the facts are here, you come back past the eye exam. What then? Like, did Humpy? I mean, like, I could see Humpy going around going, "See everybody, 2015." He's not, because he's a showman and everything. But like, it's at some point at some point you're going to go, "I've got no options, so I've got to start my own team." But that didn't really help the eye exam.
I didn't publicize it. I didn't call Tom Higgins and say, hey, put this in the Charlotte Observer or whatever that I took an eye test. But
just because it's not you.
Yeah.
You're not going to go.
Yeah, I didn't think of that. And I'm sure if anyone asked Humpy, he would have told them. And if anybody asked me, what about your eye? I said, yeah, well, I had an eye test by a specialist, and he said there's nothing wrong, which is, I could have told you that or whatever. But And I chased, and that's the hardest thing ever. Is I went around to a lot of the racetracks without driving or whatever, trying to be there. Felt like I needed to be there or whatever, which is so hard. Miserable. Totally. If you're not there with something to do, it's so miserable.
Yeah.
And basically, again, I had an opportunity with Gary Bechtel. The reason Gary got involved in racing, he lived across the street from Felix. And Felix,
do this.
He said, why don't you do this? So basically, we got a car from Sabco, and Bobby Hillen's Bush team basically prepared that car to race, and we raced a few times that year. And then Gary, decided to go racing big time the following year, got somebody else to drive or whatever. But again, we remained friends, and he sponsored me back when I started my own Bush team a couple times. But yeah, so that essentially pretty much. Although again, in 1993, I had an opportunity with Larry Hedrick and ran almost all the races with Larry Hedrick in '93, and that was essentially my last time. So.
Hey guys, I'm here to tell you 3 reasons why I love our sponsor, Tire Pros. Number 1, Tire Pros loves cars as much as I do. Number 2, they have great service. Number 3, they're committed to getting you back out on the road. Plus, they've got this really cool logo.
Dale, that's 4 reasons.
And they have over 600 locations, 24/7 roadside assistance, a great selection, and a best-in-class tire warranty. Tire Pros, love the drive.